Right now, deep inside Google's headquarters, executives are running wargame meetings about a search engine most people have still never heard of. Why would the biggest search company on Earth, worth over $2 trillion, treat a small AI startup with 60 million users like a five-alarm fire? Stick around because by the end of this video we are going to answer that question directly: what Perplexity is doing differently, why it terrifies Google's entire business model, and whether traditional search engines are already on their way out. To understand the fear, you need to understand the machine. Google does not really sell search, it sells your attention one click at a time. Every time you type a question and land on a results page full of blue links, Google is running an auction behind the scenes. Advertisers bid for the right to sit above the answer you actually wanted. That auction is worth roughly $200 billion a year. It is, by a wide margin, the most profitable machine in the history of advertising. But the entire system depends on one fragile assumption: that you, the user, are willing to click through to a page. Perplexity's entire pitch is built on breaking that assumption. Open Perplexity and type the same question, and something different happens. There are no 10 blue links to sort through, no page of ads to scroll past. Instead, Perplexity reads across dozens of sources in real time and hands you a single, direct, written answer with footnotes, like a research assistant instead of a phone book. No clicking, no comparing 5 different websites, no ads sitting between you and the answer. For the person searching, that feels like a massive upgrade. For Google, it is an existential problem, because the entire $200 billion auction depends on you clicking through, and Perplexity's whole design philosophy is built around making sure you never have to. This is not just a theory, the numbers are already moving. A 2026 study from research firm SparkToro found that 68% of Google searches in the United States now end without a single click to any website at all, up sharply from just 2 years earlier. Google's AI overviews, the AI-written summaries sitting at the top of search results, now appear on more than 1 in 5 searches. And according to data from SEO firm Ahrefs, when an AI overview shows up, click-through rate to the normal search results drops by roughly 60%. When an AI overview appears, close to 80% of those searches now end with 0 clicks anywhere. People get their answer and they leave. For the millions of websites and newsrooms that depend on that traffic to survive, this is not an abstract statistic. It is a collapsing floor. Data compiled by Chartbeat and reported by Press Gazette found that global search traffic to publishers fell by roughly a third in 2025 alone. Smaller publishers were hit even harder, losing around 60% of their search traffic over just 2 years. And here is the cruelest part: AI chatbots are not picking up the slack. Even with explosive growth, tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity combined still send publishers less than 1% of their total traffic. The old deal, Google sends you readers and you build a website worth running, is quietly falling apart, and nothing is replacing it. Real newsrooms are already living this. Business Insider watched its search traffic fall by more than half in just 3 years and cut a fifth of its staff. HuffPost lost about half its search referrals over the same period. Tech sites got hit hardest of all. The Verge saw its Google traffic drop by as much as 85%. Digital Trends lost 97% of its search traffic and laid off nearly its entire staff. These are not small blogs. These are outlets that shaped how millions of people understood technology and the world. And the traffic that used to fund their newsrooms is simply not coming back in the same form. Here is the twist most people miss: Perplexity is not winning outright either. It is genuinely tiny next to the giants. Perplexity has around 60 million monthly users. ChatGPT has somewhere around 800 to 900 million people using it every single week, roughly 15 times the size. In February 2026, the very same month OpenAI started testing ads inside ChatGPT, Perplexity did the opposite. It killed its advertising business almost entirely and bet everything on paid subscriptions instead. That bet paid off fast. Revenue jumped roughly 50% in a single month, and by March, Perplexity had crossed $450 million in annualized revenue. But the company has also lost major ground, including a reported $400 million partnership with Snapchat that quietly fell apart just months after it was announced. So is Google actually losing? Not yet, not on paper anyway. In its most recent quarterly earnings, Google's overall revenue jumped 24%, and its search business alone grew 17% to $63 billion in a single quarter. Google's own CEO credited AI overviews and its new AI mode directly for that growth. AI mode alone passed 1 billion monthly users within about a year of launching. That is the uncomfortable truth. Google is not dying today. It is something scarier for a company this size. It is being forced to fight for its life while the money is still pouring in because the ground underneath the business is shifting even while this quarter's numbers look great. And Google's own strategy hints at how nervous it really is. It has started quietly placing paid ads directly inside its AI-generated answers instead of only around them. But that move runs straight into a trust problem. A 2026 Ipsos survey found that roughly 63% of US adults say they trust an AI-generated answer less the moment they see an ad sitting inside it. In other words, the very thing that makes AI search feel better than old-school search, a clean, ad-free answer, is exactly what Google now has to break in order to keep making money from it. Zoom out and a pattern becomes obvious. The list of 10 blue links search engine was built for a world where people wanted options. AI search is built for a world where people just want the answer. Once a large enough share of searchers get used to a single direct answer instead of a page of links, going back to the old format starts to feel outdated. The way flipping through a phone book feels outdated today. There's a bitter irony here. Google itself won the search wars over 20 years ago by being the fastest way to get a direct answer, killing off directories like Yahoo and search engines like Alta Vista that made you dig through pages to find anything. Now an even more direct answer machine is doing the exact same thing to Google. That does not mean Google disappears overnight. It has money, data, and users no startup can match. But it does mean the era where search automatically meant a page of blue links is very likely coming to an end, one AI answer at a time. So back to the question we opened with, why is a $2 trillion company treating a 60 million user startup like an emergency? Because Perplexity is not just a competitor. It is proof that Google's core product, the search results page itself, can be replaced entirely by anyone with a good enough AI model. Google is terrified of Perplexity, not because Perplexity is winning today, but because Perplexity proved the old model does not have to exist anymore. And once that idea is out, it does not go back in the box. If this changed how you think about search, hit like and subscribe. We are breaking down exactly how the AI economy is rewiring the internet, one industry at a time. See you in the next one.